Hey, Debaters, it's Chris. Welcome back. I'm really excited today to be able to bring these two lovely ladies. So I'm going to let Purvi introduce us and we'll get on with the show. So Purvi, why don't you introduce us?
Hi, I'm Purvi Janardhan, and here is Ruchi, and you're tuned into Animal Innovation Show.
Excellent introduction. So Purvi, why don't you start us off? Tell us who you are and how you're innovating and helping animals.
Absolutely. Do you love dogs? I'm sure you do. So we are here to talk about only the dogs. It's all about the dogs at the DogHood. So the DogHood is an online platform where you can connect dog owners locally and globally without sharing any personal information. And I'll show you a few slides just to kind of go through the whole idea. The first of all, yes, connecting dog owners locally and globally, and it will moving to the next slide. It's a very dog-centric platform. It is curated by dog owners, vouched by dog owners, and created by dog owners. And there are, without sharing any personal information. So the moment you download the app, it will plug you into your dog owners in your neighborhood, in your zip code, not just your city, but beyond that, right? So it's an entire holistic, local, global community of the dog owners. It's more of a digital ecosystem around being a pet parent.
Absolutely. And let me show you, like what does the DogHood look like? So these are the features that we have on it. And these features were designed based on a lot of research that Purvi and I did in several different forums. And we wanted to create something which every dog owner can use. So we have a unique dog profile for every dog because every dog is unique. Every child is unique. For us, dogs are like children. So this is your first social profile for dog in which you have a name, a little bit more information, a little bit fun, like introduction about the personality of the dog, and then just going into the breed and, just the weight and everything, where you house all the photos, videos, and everything. Next is, the paw feed, which we are very excited about because, as Purvi said, who doesn't like looking at dog pictures or who doesn't like dogs? So this is the place where anybody in the entire US, wherever they are, can post their dog's pictures about what's happening, what they're doing with the dog, the daily, things that we do, walk them, feed them, just doll them up, and we take pictures and everything. And, you can just keep on going over the paw feed. And the next is dog events, which we are extremely proud about because this was something that came up often in our conversations with the other dog owners. They just did not know how to connect with the other dog owners in their locations or beyond. So what we did with dog events is it's a very localized, city-based option that the dog owners have to create their play dates, to create meetups. And not only that, and you can do much larger events. So it's in your hands to do that. Like, for instance, Halloween event. One of the parents, dog parents, she wanted to do a dog Halloween event in our city. She sent an invite to the whole city. We had 300 people, who basically walked in at some point of time, coming in and out. The mayor was there. It was just too adorable. So that is the power of dog events. And finally, the recommendations. Because 92%, that's a statistic, that 92% of dog owners, they depend on each other, mouth of word, recommendations about what should they buy, which vet should they go to, what is the product, what is coming into the market, and everybody wants to vet it out. It's just like, dogs that are kids, like how we do with our kids, isn't it? So these are our product features. And it's very exciting how the next slide is, because this shows you very clearly how the pet parents are using the app.
Yeah, and every single feature, if the way we have designed, right? Having a dog social profile, how to connect by creating an event, how to get recommendations. So every single channel we have created for dog owners to connect, and we are seeing they are using exactly the same way, even more than what we anticipated. That how they are recommending products, how they are saying which food is good to give. There are local businesses coming out and saying, okay, you know what, this is the food I want to give it out because this is a food good for doodles, good for other breeds. So people are using it much more than what we anticipated in a lot of different ways. And that's why we wanted to showcase this slide.
And the last slide, if you see, it's a really cute picture of a dog sitting in a red car. So this is Bixby. And, he had his birthday party, his first birthday party. So, his mom created this very cute invite. She sent it out. 20 people landed up. She had these little dog ice creams. It's just such a positive community thing that you can do in each, local, cities and everything to bring the community together.
Very cool. I love the concept of this. I mean, it seems like it's super easy, and you guys are really focused on the local, right? Trying to connect people with other dog lovers in their community.
Absolutely. And I think, Chris, you must have realized, the pets are the social facilitator, right? And especially during COVID, all the needs of connecting with the neighbors and the local community and helping each other, right? That is top in everybody's mind, right? And that's where Ruchi and I kind of started thinking about how do we put a product out there? Not everybody will have the person sitting in every neighborhood who will make an initiative to do it. How do we give a product out there for people to just find other dog owners, make connections, take these connections online to offline, right? And dogs are they bond us, right? In a very special way.
Yeah, they're like members of our family. So Purvi, I mean, take us back to the point where you ladies came up with the idea for this. I mean, what was going through your mind? What was the problem you were trying to solve?
Absolutely. To tell you the truth, Chris, I was afraid of dogs.
Really?
Just few years ago. I would not even touch a puppy. Okay. I was so afraid of the dog. But all my boys wanted a dog, and I felt like I'm depriving them from having a dog. And that's when I took a plunge and I said, you know what, I'm going to have a dog, and ended up having an 85-pound, this fluffy monster
sitting here,
whom I just adore, right? And then how did that happen? That's the journey. That's how the doghood was built, right? And I feel like when I got a dog, I was so overwhelmed where I didn't know what to do. Oreo, my dog's name is Oreo. Oreo and I start staring at each other, I think for 4 days, sitting in a room. Okay, what are we supposed to do, right? Yeah. And the 5th day, my husband came home and I said, you know what, we are returning this dog. There is no way I can take care of this guy because I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. But that's where Ruchi came in place, right? She is known as a dog mom in our neighborhood, and she kind of seek out for people who is getting a new puppy, right? Because she is so passionate about the puppy and the dog. So she seeked out for me, and then we started going on a walk, and she started kind of, more of an assurance that, Purvi, these are the stages of puppy lives. This is what happens. And she kind of connected me to different resources, different groups. And that kind of changed the whole journey of being from a puppy owner to a dog lover. That journey became so quick for me, that how dogs behave, how puppy, why do they nap, why do they, those things. I used to think that there has to be a solution, but this is a journey, right? And this is where we thought that why don't we have an ecosystem out there? There is definitely a gap. What I went through as my personal journey, I'm sure there are many, many millions of people out there who is going through the same exact experience, right? And that's where we built the product, the DogHood, a platform where many people just like me who can elevate their journey right away and become a dog lover just like me.
Wow. So now, Ruchi, did either of you guys have experience building a software platform? I mean, what were your backgrounds?
So, I can't be, so Purvi is the tech person, she's been, so we are, based in Silicon Valley. I have a very different background. I studied design. I actually when I was little, we moved around a lot because of my dad's job. Then when I got married, we moved around a lot because of my husband's job. So, we moved from country to country. And finally we landed up in US 2008, and we stayed there for a few years, and then we moved to Silicon Valley in 2012. And I the time we moved to US is when I stopped working. So I had a very design background. I used to do that, very busy in that. But in all my life, I've always had dogs. And dogs are the sweet, they add the sweetness to your life. And for me, it has been a little hard. It was hard, a little traumatic sometimes, professionally and personally. When you move around a lot, you need to build everything once again, right? You need to build your relationships, everything.
Sure.
And that's how the power of community for me is really big. That's the value for me. So when we moved to like from Singapore to Boston to here, like, and several other places before that, I kind of thought that, my dog was my social connector. It was my way in. It was the icebreaker, right? Into a community. If I'm walking, Nessie is my dog. She's a golden, she's a fluffy 64-pound dog that I need to make her lose weight, but she's really cute. And but when I'm walking her, there are people who stop and talk to me who would never do that otherwise, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, having a dog makes you think, or makes the other person think that you're a better person than you are. I don't know, there's something that they bring out in you. There's a smile, there's a connection. And so when I came here, I think that became my into this community, right? Walking, like, California is gorgeous. The weather is so beautiful. We are out hiking, walking, 90% of the time. I like walking in the rain too. So I'm doing it 100% of the time, right? I'm always out. So, to cut the story short, that's how I met Purvi, because I made so many friendships through that. So about 5 or 6 years back, I also started dog boarding. And that was the joy of my life. I wasn't like doing it, because I wanted to earn money. Yes, part of it was that. But part of it was being part of this community and giving back. Because, for me, I feel dogs are kids. And the way they need to be when I go on a vacation, I need not to be worrying about my dog. And so
Right.
that's how my whole, like, connections in this community formed. And I understood what the dog behavior is, what the dog owner's behavior is, how do they behave, why do they behave, the honeymoon period before the puppy comes in, and then the puppy blues that you get, where you didn't know that 24/7 you have to take care of this fluffy little thing, where you don't often get your family support, because it's not like a baby, right, where everybody, your mother-in-law is coming, father-in-law is coming, or somebody is coming to help you take care of the baby. So this is where like, I think my passion for this whole thing developed, and that's how I met Purvi. Live in very different worlds, like, we are two very different people, but we came together for this, started talking, and the more we talked, the more excited we got, because as she said, this cannot be an isolated thing, is what we thought. We see so many people struggling, right? And as she said, how do you, so our vision is basically, how do you reduce that distance from a puppy owner to a dog owner to a dog lover? How do you make that journey sweeter, shorter, and elevate the experience?
Right. And to her point, we wanted to create Ruchi in every single neighborhood, okay, all over US and global, right? Because that's, and we have seen our community thriving with such a dog friendly community. We have every day when you go to the park, people talk, dogs are playing. And I think that was our vision, that we want to create those hubs every single place in the world, right? And that's where, how do we scale, right? That's where my tech background, because I have always been in tech. It was more than 25 plus years, right? I was at PayPal, I was at eBay, and then moving on to entrepreneurship for last 5 years. So my philosophy behind the product is how to build a product which makes an impact on a day-to-day life, and how to scale it, right? We cannot replicate Ruchi in every single neighborhood. Given a choice, she would go. I know that.
Right. She'd love to.
Yeah. So what always, and this is what Ruchi and I always talk about. How do we sit in Starbucks and can see every single doghood hubs are thriving all over US. That is our dream. That's what we want to do, right? That's how we want to make an impact. So with my tech background, with my data and analytics background, we came up with this, this platform, that how can we get the pet owners, the dog owners, everybody kind of connected on this holistic digital platform, right? And how do we make this a pet world, right? Coming from a tech industry, whenever there is a AI, machine learning, or any kind of, those are always on the top of the news. Techs are always top on the news, but pet innovations are not, right?
Yeah.
And when we started talking about it, and when we started doing research and meeting a lot of petpreneurs, that's when you realize that there is so much out there, but why is it not gotten a priority, or not never seen in top 10 list? Why is that? I mean, you are doing such a wonderful job, Chris. I really applaud you what you are doing, right? These are the things people need to know, right? The pet industry really needs that attention, right? It is growing at the scale where the startups, the innovators, they are also need to come up front and make a difference, right?
I love this. I love the passion in this. And I love the fact that you want to just replicate Ruchi in every single city across the country. I think that'd be fun. So how has it been going? Like, how long have you had this out? Is it launched? How's the reaction been?
Sure. So we have launched our beta app in September, and we went live in October. It's been, I guess, it's been 4.5, 5 months now.
Okay.
We are seeing a really good traction. We have been over 400 cities all over in US.
Yeah.
And we have 10 cities which are growing really well. One is definitely our hometown, which is Saratoga. We have San Francisco is growing really well. Los Angeles. In fact, New York is coming out really well as well. San Jose and Seattle.
Yeah.
Right. So these are like, Seattle, Colorado is kind of competing too. So I do look at the numbers on a daily basis. That's what I do. I can keep looking at it. Right. So those numbers are coming out very, very strong, and people are giving us feedbacks. We are looking at the engagements, the retentions, and more than that, it's, I think, the pivot, understanding the user behavior. And I think, this people in New York versus people in California, right?
Yeah,
the way the behavior is different. They are looking more for space in New York. Right?
So it's a really fun thing. So Purvi has changed me completely from being. So I would never look at numbers. For me, being outdoors, under the sun with my dog, la 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 la, some nice songs going on in my mind. But it's so fascinating. Like, from my point of view, being a community person, people's person, talking to so many dog owners in different parks and everything, getting that feedback. But my data was a few hundred people, So using that and then trying to reach these thousands of people, trying to understand, because a dog is a dog, right? The pet peeves of the parents are very similar, but there is a difference in dog culture. And that's very exciting to see, right? How do we use our platform so beautifully to create something where every culture thrives? Like, for instance, here in California, we have this hiking culture, right? People talk about ticks all the time. We are talking about the hiking trails. We are talking about what is the water bottle that you should be using. It's a very different conversation to New York, as she said, where people are trying to look for, where should we meet? Where's the space, right? Which is a dog park that's available, right? So I think the conversations are different, but the love is the same. The passion is the same. Dog owners are very different breed of people. I think we are very supportive. We are very uplifting. We are very positive. We want to help each other. The biggest feature that we have seen a growth in is recommendations on our platform. It's growing beautifully. People come there, they don't necessarily have to post questions. They go through the questions, what people are talking about, what's a word of mouth recommendation,
Yeah.
or like what do I learn from here? And I think, like, nobody's out there to give wrong information. I think it hurts physically to me to think that I would be giving a information that might, hurt some other dog, right? Because I think dogs evoke that feeling in us that we need to, like, it hurts me as much as, like, if Oreo is hurting as much as it'll be, for my dog Nessie. I think it's something about that, that eyes of theirs, or like, just how mute in a way they bring that love in us. So I think it's a beautiful platform for that, to get the people together, get the community talking, and just create a better world for them, right, by just being together.
I really think you need to look at cloning Ruchi, though, Purvi. I'm just saying, I imagine her in every one of these cities across the
Yes,
country.
I hope that, there is a new tech AI something where I can just, port Ruchi into all these places, and
Yep.
I'm sitting here and monitoring where she's going.
Yeah, you just monitor. I like that. So instead of where in the world is, Carmen Sandiego, where's Ruchi? That's all you gotta do. So Purvi, I mean, if people are interested, they want to sign up, how can they become a part of the beta? Where can they learn more?
So we are live, okay? We are available on App Store. It is a free app. Please go and download. And I think, more than just a tech, I think what we are looking is also users' feedback.
Yeah.
Because, what we do is we look at users' behavior, their feedback, we pivot, we analyze, we put it out in the, change the product a little bit, come back. So definitely give us your feedback, because it is curated by all the dog owners. This we have put in a platform out there, and people are using it in a different ways, not just the dog owners. In fact, the petpreneurs, pet innovators. One of the student from UT Austin, she was working on an idea for how to have the best the water bottle.
So a couple of products. One is the water bottle, but she also had an agility training course. So she has a beautiful story too. Like, she couldn't, like, take her dog out. She wasn't feeling well. So she started thinking, the new generation, like, all of us are thinking of how to make things better for us using innovations. So she has this agility training course that she wants to, try it out. Look at our channel.
So that's and exactly the point is the market research, right? Because nowadays, whenever you have an idea, you do a market research first, right? What about this petpreneurs, pet innovators? If they come on the platform, they are getting the target audience right here. What do the people, what do these dog owners need? What are the puppy owners talk about? What is their current need in terms of tech, right? So I think it's a platform designed for the petpreneurs, pet innovators as well, and the dog owners to come. So it's more like the it's connecting the dots. Right now it's a very complex process. Okay, what we are trying to do is it's bridging that gap and say, let's come together and utilize what we have on this platform. So yes, this app is free out there, only in App Store, not in Android. We are working on that. But do download, play around with it, and we love users' feedback. We take it very, very constructively. And actually, we do analyze users' feedback too, and saying, okay, what is that common feedback which everybody wants? Let's go with that feature, right? So absolutely, people can download the app and available in App Store.
Great. Well, this is going to be really exciting. I mean, this is just the beginning, as you said, right? I mean, you are just getting started, and I'll be excited to see where you're going and the new features and that people are recommending to you.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to our journey as well of growth.
Yeah. So Purvi, Ruchi, is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap things up today?
No, I think this is great. And Chris, thank you for having us. Thank you so much for having us, because we want to spread the words out there, right? Words out there saying, use this platform because it's out there, it's free, available for you to, and be out there as a women entrepreneurs who are also want to make a change in this industry, right? So, spread the words. And I totally appreciate you, talking to us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Well, and as we wrap up the show, I'm really excited that you ladies came on. I always like to remind our viewers and listeners that maybe they're sitting here listening to you going, I have a great idea like they do for a product that's going to help people and the animals that they love. So we'd love to talk about it. Products, services, ideas, anything. Just go to innovations.show and we'd love to have them on the show to talk about it. And I always remind our listening audience that make sure to check out Dubert.com, where you can be a Dubertier and come help be a part of the rescue revolution of saving more animals. So thank you, Ruchi. Thank you, Purvi, for coming on. Really enjoy the conversation and really excited to see where you ladies are going to take this.
Likewise. Thank you, Chris.